Hello friends, today I am going to discuss with you basic English grammar, that is spoken English series part 3. In this video, I am going to cover the sentence and its ingredients. And this video is very interesting for you because this video contains subject and predicate, which is helpful for all categories of students, especially from class 9 or class 10. So let's start this video only in Digital Learning Portal. So the sentence and its ingredients. That means a sentence consists of two components, such as one is subject and another one is predicate. So this is the components or ingredients of a sentence. First one is a subject and another one is a predicate. First of all, we have to know about what do you mean by subject and its meaning. So this is subject. Now we have to define it as, here this is the definition of a subject. It is a part of the sentence that introduces the doer. That means in a sentence the subject is a doer. Basic information for you: if you are a student of class 8 or class 9, then this video is very helpful to you. For class 9 students, this is the first chapter of your English grammar book. That is the subject and the predicate. And for class 8 and class 10, this concept in this video will provide you an information about the structure of sentence and how to make a sentence. So you must watch this video till the end, and I hope you will gain more knowledge about sentence and its ingredients. Here doer means that means one who does something. One who does something. We call it as a doer. So doer can be a person, place, or a living or non-living things, etc. Here the subject is called as a doer, and doer that may be a person, a place, or a living or non-living things. सब्जेक्ट को हम कह सकते हैं कि पर्सन हो सकता है, एक स्थान हो सकता है, किसी भी प्लेस हो सकता है, और किसी भी सजीव और निर्जीव वस्तु हो सकता है. For your understanding, let's take an example. So here is the example: the girl danced on the stage. Here we can say the doer is the girl and it is subject. Also the doer is a person also, so we can write it as a subject. That means a doer. And her work or action lies in another part. That means here is the another part, and this another part is also known as the predicate. You can see this is the predicate, and we can define it as it is the remaining part of the sentence which informs about the subject. If we consider this example, the girl danced on the stage. Here the girl is the subject and the remaining part is danced on the stage. Here this portion of the sentence indicates or informs about who danced on the stage. That is, we get the answer, the girl, which is the subject. That means in case of predicate, the predicate informs us about the subject. And the predicate part, which is the remaining part of the sentence, also consists of a verb, which is that is a finite verb, and object and other elements like that may be adjective, adverb, prepositions, or noun, etc. Whenever we found any predicate, it consists of a verb which is a finite verb. That means the finite verb means which follows the tense, which can be changed according to the tenses, and it has also object and other elements like adjective, adverb, this one, and preposition or noun, etc. So here is the example, and you have to identify subject. That means you have to encircle the subject and then underline the predicate part. As subject is the doer, here in the sentence doer is the you, so you is the subject, and the rest part is should obey the traffic rule. This part indicates that the predicate. So can you identify the verb? Yes, should obey. That means the verb is should obey. This is the verb phrase. Here should is the modal auxiliary and obey is the main verb. And the traffic rule is the object of the sentence. And also here obey is a finite verb. That means it can be changed according to the use of tenses. If you use past tense, this verb was changed into obey plus ed, obeyed. Now this is a task for us for how we identify subject and predicate in a sentence. So we study in this video different cases, such as first one is first case 1 is a declarative sentence. That means in case of a declarative sentence, how we find or identify subject and predicate in the sentence. Here is the some rule we have to follow to identify subject and predicate in the sentence. So subject comes at the first position in this type of a sentence. Here when we use declarative sentence, we found subject at the first position. Also we can say subject is used before any be verbs, helping verbs, main verbs, etc. Also alternatively we can say if we found any be verbs or main verbs or helping verbs, modal auxiliary, etc. Then subject is used that before that a be verb or main verbs. We can understand better. We can understand this rule or cases by using some examples here. Here are some examples. You can see this. I can do this work. This is a declarative sentence. According to the rule written above, we can apply it. In this type of sentence, we use subject at the first position. That means this is the subject. Otherwise, we can say when we find any be verb or helping verb or main verb, the subject is used before that helping verb or main verb. And here we can say can is the helping verb. That is, it is a modal auxiliary. Before can, I is used, so I is the subject. And rest can do this work, this is the predicate. The second example is you ate 10 mangoes. Here in this is also a declarative sentence, and you is the subject and rest ate 10 mangoes is the predicate. Third question is Rashmi Ranjan is a good boy, and is the be verb. Because no. But actually in this sentence is used as a main verb because the main verb is absent. So before main verb we use Rashmi Ranjan. So Rashmi Ranjan is the subject and the rest is a good boy. This is predicate. This is the sentence. They did not pay fee. In this sentence, what is the subject? Here, did is the be verb. Before be verb, the word is used as subject. So, they is the subject. And rest portion of the sentence, that is, did not pay fee, that treated as a predicate of the sentence. Next, we will read case number 2, that is imperative sentence. For case number 2, imperative sentence, we read generally subject is left out. That means for in every question you cannot find the subject. The question is itself a predicate of the sentence. The question that I have given you is totally a predicate part of the sentence. For every question, you is treated as subject. So let's take an example to understand. Here we have some questions like come here. In this question we have to find what is subject and what is predicate. Total the question come here is the predicate part of the sentence. And where is subject? The subject is you. You is the subject. When you ask you come here, so you come here. Here you is the subject, and the subject is left out in this question because it is an imperative sentence. For imperative sentence, the subject is left out, and generally we call it as a you. Second question is please give me 100 rupees through Paytm. Here the total question, that is please give me 100,000 rupees through Paytm. This is the predicate part of the sentence, and subject is you. Third question is don't skip this video. This is called as the predicate part of the sentence, and subject is you. Number 4 question is let's go for a picnic. This is also the predicate part of the sentence, and subject is also you. Number 5th question is don't touch my mobile. This is also the predicate part of the sentence, and what is subject? You know, comment in the comment box. Okay, and right here is the subject. I hope you understood properly. Next goes to case number 3, that is interrogative sentence. Here for case number 3, for interrogative sentence, as you know, interrogative sentence is of 2 categories. One is yes/no interrogative, otherwise we call it be verb interrogative. Second one is WH word interrogative. First of all, we have to know in case of a yes/no interrogative or be verb interrogative, what will be the subject and what will be the predicate. So subject lies in between be verb and main verb. In case of this type of sentence, that is the yes/no interrogative, we found the subject in between be verb and main verb. So let's take an example to understand. So, have you seen my book? Here in the sentence, subject is you. And what is its location? Its location that it lies in between be verb have and main verb seen. In between these two words we found subject. Second question, are the students playing in the playground? Here are is the be verb or helping verb. Playing is the main verb. In between these two words we found the word student. This is subject. Yes, this is predicate. Have seen my book. And here for second number question, are playing in the playground is the predicate of the sentence. Third number question, will you give me your notebook please? Here will is the helping verb, modal auxiliary, and give is the main verb. In between these two words, you is the subject and rest will. Give me your notebook please. This is the predicate of the sentence. For WH word interrogative, in this type of a sentence, we need to find the answer of the question and then we find the subject. Generally, it may be on the first, middle or last position of the sentence, depending upon the WH word used in that sentence. Here in this sentence, what is your name? Suppose I asked you what is your name and you say your name. Suppose Ashok. Ashok is my name. Sorry, my name is Ashok. In this sentence, my name or your name comes first. So, in this sentence, your name is the subject and rest portion of the sentence. That is what is predicate of the sentence. So, it is the subject and it is the predicate of the sentence. Next, what troubles you? When I ask you what troubles you, suppose you answered quarantine troubles us. So here quarantine used to at the first position of the sentence. So here in this sentence I use what is the subject and rest portion of the sentence, that is the troubles you is the predicate of the sentence. And this one, when did you get up? The term when is used as adverb of time, and in this sentence its answer is used at the last of the sentence. So its answer will never be when. Here in the sentence use the subject and rest of the sentence when did get up is the predicate part of the sentence. Suppose I answered this question, when did you get up? I answered I get up at 7 a.m. So I is the sentence, I is the subject. So here in the sentence use the subject and rest part of the sentence treated as predicate of the sentence. Next is the where are you living? When I asked you, you answered me, I am living in Kotak and I am living in Puri. So here in the sentence, the answer of where is used at the last of the sentence. So we never call it as a subject. So here use the subject and rest of the sentence where are living is the predicate of the sentence. This is the fundamental idea about subject and predicate. I hope you understood better. And also like, share and subscribe this channel more and more and press the bell icon for more updates. Thank you.